Today we are going to be talking about differentiating using product rule. Ne? So suppose they gave you a function. They gave you a function that is subject of the formula, which is r of x. They're asking you to find what? To find the derivative of that function. Ne? For you to find the derivative of that function, let's say we have product. The word product rule, it means you have two products. Number one, number two. When they multiply together, we call it a what? We are using a product rule to differentiate that thing. Ne? So if you have the subject of the formula like this, for you to represent that thing, you must say what? How to differentiate that thing? You must say r prime of x. You are differentiating with respect to what? To x. Ne? So the derivative of that product rule, we are going to do what? We are going to derive the first function. You are going to derive the first function multiplied by the second function. You don't derive that second function. Ne? Then you say plus. You keep the first function. Ne? You don't derive it. Then derive what? Derive the second function. That's how you are going to derive using product rule. If they gave you subject of the formula, they can say y. They can say y, and you are going to say y prime. Understand? If they gave you y like this, if they gave you y, they say f of x multiplied by g of x. The only thing you have to do, you must tell them you are deriving what? You are deriving y with respect to x. You are going to say dy over dx, or you can say what? You can say y prime. Ne? Therefore, you are going to be with what? You derive the first function, then you keep the second function. You say plus. In product rule, we plus. Why do we plus? Because when you have two bases that are the same, you do what? You add the exponent. That is why here we add. Ne? So we are going to do what? We are going to keep the second function, then derive the second function, which is the one of g of x. Ne? If they gave you what? Y subject of the formula. So what if they gave you the two functions, but then they did not represent it as a subject of the formula? It does not have a subject formula like y or f of x or r of x. It does not have anything. For you to derive that thing, you have to do what? You have to say you are deriving. You don't know what you are deriving. Ne? If you had y, you are going to say I'm deriving y with respect to something. You're just going to say I'm deriving what? I'm deriving a function with respect to what? You check the inner variable. You are deriving with respect to what? To x. That's how you are going to write that thing. Meaning you are going to say d over dx. Then you are going to have what? F of x multiplied by what? By g of x. That's how you're going to represent that thing. The moment you start deriving, you leave this thing alone. The moment when you start deriving, you leave that thing alone. It means you're going to say equal to, you're going to have f prime of x. Then you keep the second function. You say plus. You keep the first function. You derive the second function. You must not include this thing here. You must not say this is wrong. Whenever you start to derive, you leave that thing alone. Understand? So let's check a quick example of how to derive what? How to derive function that have a product. Ne? So function number one, I have this function. Number one, I have this function. This function. The function is g of x. It means I'm going to having variables of x's in there. I'm going to have 2x squared minus 3x into what? X to the 4 minus x to the 5. Ne? So remember, when you have subject of the formula like that, you are allowed to say what? They are asking you what is g prime of x? What is the derivative of that? So if you are checking there, you have product of what? Of two functions. You have the first function, you can call that function f of x. Let me represent like this. You can call this function this one. You can call it what? F of x. And you can call this one what? G of x. They are what? They are the product. So you know the derivative of that function is going to be what? You are going to have what? You are going to derive the first function, then keep the first function, which is the second function, which is what? G of x. Then say plus, because when you have the base that are the same, we add the exponent. Therefore, you keep the first function, then you do what? You derive the second function. So it means your f of x is going to be what? So you must find the f prime of x, g prime of x, then substitute them there. Ne? So for now, our f of x is what? Our f of x is what? Is this one. Is 2x squared minus 3x. Then our g of x is what? Our g of x is x to the 4 minus x to the 5. So it means we have this f of x, here it is, and then g of x, here it is. So now we have to find what? We have to find a f prime of x, and we have to find what? G prime of x. Ne? So let's find a f prime of x. F prime of x, you are going to be having what? You are going to, when we derive that function, you are going to have what? 4x. Then you subtract 1 there, you remain with negative 3. Then g prime of x, you are going to remain with what? 4x to the 3 minus 5x to the 4. Therefore, you take those things, you substitute them. Ne? This is your number 1, 2, 3, 4. Our number 1 is what? Is this one, f prime of x. Our number 2 is what? Is g prime of x. Our number 3 is what? Is f of x. Our number 4 is what? Is g prime of x. Therefore, we are going to say what? G prime of x is equals to, therefore you substitute all those things you got there. You start by f prime of x. Our f prime of x is what? Is 4x minus 3. Then the second one is number 2, which is g of x. Here it is here. You are going to have what? X to the 4 minus x to the 5. Then you say plus. The formula says plus here. Therefore, you substitute the third function, which is what? F of x is this one. You are going to what? You are going to substitute it here, which is what? 2x squared minus 3x. Therefore, you substitute your last function, number 4, which is what? G prime of x. You remain with what? 4x cubed minus 5x to the 4. Therefore, that is the derivative of that thing. Ne? You see, it's very much simple. So let's go to our second function. Our second function is what? We have what? We have y equals to what? Equals to x to the 4 minus 1 all into what? X cubed minus 3x. Ne? So now we don't have f of x, we just have y. It means we are going to say what? We're finding the derivative, you are going to say what? You are going to have y prime, or you are going to say what? You are deriving y with respect to what? To x. It means you are going to say what? Dy over dx. Ne? So let's find dy over dx of that thing. Dy over dx is the same as f, is the derivative. Ne? So our dy over dx there, this function is going to be what? You can name it f of x. This one you can name it g of x. It means you have to find f prime of x, and then you have to find g prime of x. Ne? I hope now you find the you get the procedure. Ne? It means you are going to have what? You are going to have dy over dx is going to be equal to what? F of x multiplied by what? Multiplied by, f prime of x multiplied by g of x plus what? You keep f of x, then you multiply it by what? By g prime of x. You see how simple it is. So our f of x is that one. Let's find our f prime of x. Our f prime of x is going to be what? F prime of x is going to be what? It's going to be 4x cubed. then g prime of x is going to be what? It's going to be 3x squared minus 3. This one, the derivative of this one. Ne? So let's substitute whatever we have there. It means I'm going to have what? My dy over dx is going to be equal to f prime of x, which is what? 4x cubed. Then keep g of x, our g of x, which is this one, which is going to be x cubed minus 3x. X cubed minus 3x. Then I say plus. I put what? F of x. My f of x is this function. Is x to the 4 minus 1. X to the 4 minus 1. Therefore, I derive g prime of x, which is this one, is going to be equal to 3x squared minus 3. 3x squared minus 3. Ne? So if you want, you can simplify, but then simplifying, you are going to take so much time. Ne? So that time you are taking it to simplify, it is going to be more time that you is going to be so much time. You are going to be better than for you to just multiply this thing step by step, then derive. Ne? The time that you are going to waste here is more than the time that you are going to waste here. Ne? So it's better to keep it that way. Understand? So let's find our third question. Our third question is going to be number 3. Number 3, it says what? It says g of y equals to what? Equals to 4y squared into y squared minus 7y. Understand? So you don't have to say many things. It means they want the derivative of that function. It means they want what? G prime of y. They are deriving with respect to what? With respect to y. Understand? Here is a key point. They are deriving with respect to what? To y. It means you are going to have what? You can call this thing what? Is a product. You can call that one f of x, this one g of x. Ne? You can call this one g of x, this one what? F of x. It means you are going to have what? F prime of x. Then you have what? It's y. We're deriving with respect to y. Sorry. We're deriving with respect to y. Sorry. So since, well, you can call this one what? F of y. But then you can't call this one a g of y because it's g of y. You can call it another thing. You can call it what? You can call it a p of y. There are many letters you can use. Ne? It means the answer is going to be what? It's going to be f prime of y multiplied by what? Multiplied by p. You keep p, ne? You don't derive it. Then say plus. You keep f of y. You say f of y. Then derive what? Derive p of y, the second function. Ne? So what is f of y? F prime of y. What is f prime of y? F prime of y, we are going to derive this function. We are going to have what? When we are deriving that function, we are going to have what? 8y. Ne? Therefore, when we are deriving p of y, we are going to have what? 2y minus 7. So we have to substitute those things here. Understand? And substitute those when we got them here. We're going to substitute them here. Understand? Simple stuff. So it means g prime of y is equals to what? What is f prime of y? Is 8y. We're going to have 8y. Then what is p of y? P of y is that one we have is that one we are keeping it. We don't derive it, we just keep it. It means I'm going to have what? Y squared minus 7y. Therefore I'm having what? Plus. I'm going to keep f of y again, which is this one. I'm going to have what? I'm going to have 4y squared. Ne? So I'm inserting now what? P prime of y, which is this one. I'm going to have what? 2y minus 7. Ne? So your answer is going to be what? It's going to be g prime of y. Yeah, for now it's easy to simplify that thing. Ne? For now it's easy. If you want to simplify it, it's very much simple. Ne? You can simplify it if you want. So you have y squared minus 7y, then plus what? plus 4y squared into 2y minus 7. You see, that's how you do find the derivative of that thing. So let's go to number 4. Number 4, it reads as follows. It say f of t. When I see f of t, it means that deriving the function is with respect to t. We have t cubed, then we have what? T squared plus 1. Ne? So they say find the derivative of that thing. You must know they want what? They want f prime of what? F prime of t. Ne? So is the product of two functions here. Ne? Is the product of two functions. They are saying use product rule. You can call this function what? You can call this one what? You can call it f of t, since well we have f of t here. Ne? You can call it what? You can call it g of t, and then this one you can call it what? R of t. It means the derivative of that thing is going to be what? Is going to be g prime of t. You derive the first one, you keep the second one, then you say plus. You keep the first one, then you do what? You derive the second one. You see? So let's find the derivative of what? The derivative of g of t and r of t. The derivative of g of t is going to be what? It's going to be 3t squared. You see? Then the derivative of r of t is going to be what? It's going to be 2t. Yeah? Let's go and substitute our answers there. We have f prime of t is going to be, let's substitute g prime of t. G prime of t is going to be what? 3t squared. Therefore, we keep the second one, which is what? Which is r of t, which is t squared plus 1. Then we say plus. We keep the first one, which is what? T cubed. Then we derive the r of t, which is the second one, which is this one, which is what? Is 2t. Ne? If you want, you can simplify that thing completely. Ne? Whenever you simplify that thing, you're going to be left with what? You're going to be left with 3t cubed plus 3t squared plus 2t to the 4. Ne? So our answer is going to be f prime of t, which is going to be what? 2t to the 4 plus 3t cubed plus 3t squared, if they ask you to simplify that thing completely. Ne? So let's go and check our number 5. Our number 5 reads as follows. We have what? G of k. It means the function is with respect to, the function has the k variables in it. Ne? We're going to have what? K squared minus k plus 3. It's beneficial to pause the video and do these things by your own. Ne? We have k, we have what? We have 3, we have what? We have 3 root 3 of what? Of k. Ne? So we have two functions here. Since well this one is g, is in terms of g, it means I must not call one of these two g. Ne? I'm going to have what? F of k. Then this side I can call it what? H of k. You see? So it means with product rule, I know they want the derivative. I must find g prime of k. It has to be what? It has to be f prime of k multiplied by the second function, which is h of k, plus keep the first function, which is f of k, then derive the second function, which is g prime of k. You see? So let's find f prime of k, f prime of k and h prime of k. Ne? So our f of x is k squared minus k plus 3. Ne? It means f prime of k. It means f prime of k is going to be simply 2k minus 1. Ne? So what is h prime of k? If you check there, this thing you must simplify it before. You must simplify these two things. Ne? So before you simplify them, you must not say h prime. Start by simplifying that function. Ne? When you simplify that function, I have here hk. We are going to have what? Negative. Therefore, you have what? That thing can be rewritten as 1 over 2. Ne? Then we say plus. Ne? We have what? We have 3. For us to derive, we must make sure our variable is in the denominator. So therefore, we also have what? Here we have 1. Ne? We are going to have 1 over 3. We're going to have 1 over 3. You see? So that variable must be in the denominator. K 1 over 2 plus. Whenever I put this thing in the denominator, it must change a sign. Ne? I'm going to have what? 3 multiplied by what? K. Then I have what? Negative. Since well, it changed the what? It went to the numerator. So it has to change a sign. Ne? It's a reciprocal. Understand? So now I can start deriving that thing. It means I must find h prime of what? Of k. Is going to be what? Deriving that thing, I'm going to be left with negative 1 over 2. Then I subtract 1 from 1 over 2. I remain with what? Negative 1 over 2. Ne? Plus, I drop that thing again. I have what? 1 over 3 multiplied by 3. Therefore, I subtract 1 from 1 over 3 is the same as 1 over 3 minus, when I subtract 1 is the same as what? As 3 over 3. It means I'm going to have what? Negative 1, negative 3, all divided by 3. So this thing is the same. I can remove a common factor of negative. I remain with 1 plus 3 divided by what? By 3. It means it's simply negative 4 over 3. You see? That's how simple is to do those things. So it's negative 4 over 3 there. So I'm going to have what? Negative, it was what? Yeah, 4 over 3. Negative 4 over 3. Ne? So now let me simplify those things so that they cannot be complicated. Ne? So I'm going to put this thing back in the denominator since it already has a negative sign. Ne? I'm going to have negative 1 divided by what? By 2 k 1 over 2 plus what? This one cancel that one. You see, these two things cancel each other, which I'm going to put back the what? This thing in the denominator since well is what? Is negative. I'm going to have what? 1 over what? 1 over k 4 over 3. So I can take those things back in the square root where they come from. Ne? Remember the product of sides. Ne? Whenever we have what? We have any number outside the square root. Ne? Then we have a variable in it. Let's say a variable x. Then we have what? We can call that thing a b. Ne? So this thing can be rewritten as what? You take this thing, this any number, any exponent to the x here, there. You do what? You put it in the numerator. You say what? B. Therefore, you divide it by what? By whatever number that is here. Whatever number it means is over n. Understand? So for now, I have for now I'm in this stand form here. Understand? I want to go back here. It means I must take that number in the numerator. I put it here. Understand? It means I'm going to have what? I'm going to have a square root. I take this number in the what? In the denominator. I put it outside. I'm going to have what? I'm going to have 3. Then I'm taking the k. I put it here. I take this b now is what? Is in the numerator. I know it's in the numerator. I'm going to take this 4. I put it here. Understand? That thing can be rewritten as that. Let's deal with this one also. This one I'm going to have a square root. Therefore I take the k inside. The number in the numerator is going back to the what? Outside the square root here. I'm going to have 2. Therefore the 1 is going back here. Ne? This thing is the same as this one. There is always a 2 here that is invisible. Ne? So let's take those things back where they come from. So it means we are going to have what? We're going to have negative 1 over 2 root k plus what? Plus 1 over what? Plus 1 over root what? Root what's this? Root where's that thing? Root 3 k to the 4. You see, simple stuff. Let's move on. Let me keep this thing for later use. So it means I found my what? My h prime of k, ne? Yeah, automatically I found my h prime of k. So it means my h, it means my h prime of k is what? It's negative 1 over 2 root k plus what? Plus 1 over, what was it? Let me check. It was it was 3. It means it's going to be 4 k to the 3. No, it's going to be let me see. Okay, we are taking this thing back is k 4 over 3. We take this thing and put it in inside the square root. I'm going to have k to the 4, then I have 3. Yeah, that's how it's going to be. I'm going to have square root of what? K to the 4, then I have what? I have the 3 there. So let me substitute whatever I have there. I'm going to have equal sign. F prime of k is what? Is 2k minus 1. Then h of k is what? We keep it as it is. We are going to have what? We are going to have negative root k plus 3 over 3 root k. Therefore, I have plus, I keep the second one, the first one, which is k squared minus k plus 3. Therefore, I derive the second one, which is h prime of k, this one, which is going to be, I can write that thing as 1 over 3 root k to the 4 minus 1. Therefore, I have 2 root k. That is the derivative of that function. So let's check another question. You must try it by yourself to see if you understand. I think for now we're done with what? With product rule. Yeah. Next question we're going to be dealing with what? With quotient rule.